Hi, hello there, this is Drake and welcome to another day on Dartmoor. And today I'm going to be just briefly showing you some of the plant fertilizers that I make. And here, I'll plot here, I don't tend to use animal manure. So in terms of giving a boost to those hungry plants like potatoes and tomatoes, I like to make a plant tea or fertilizer. So my go-tos are generally nettle and comfrey. And nettle, great, it grows pretty much everywhere, it's very high in nitrogen. And the way you do it is literally you tear up a whole load of nettles, and I tend to go for the top parts of the nettle, but you can use the whole plant, you can use its roots as well, and just crush it all up. And you might want to wear gloves for that because we all know what stinging nettles do, they sting. You can crush it all up, bruise them basically, and then you shove them into a bucket, which I'll just show you down here. I've just shoved some into a bucket here, and then I weighted it down with a nice good old stone there. And you just want the water just to be above the surface of the nettles that are in there. There's slightly too much in there, but it's fine. And then I'm using rainwater from our water butts. I prefer to use that rather than using tap water, but if you've only got tap water, you use tap water. So that's the nettle stuff. Now, nettle you can use in the same way you would use comfrey. Use it once it's been cooked. You can use it a ratio of 1 to 10, and the cooking, as it were, is you leave it like this for around about 3 weeks. And there are different methods which you can employ to make it more rapidly, but I really like to do it this way. I just like give it time to mature. So that's the kind of slow cook method, if you like. And when it's done, it will be a dark liquid. And you want to add that a ratio about 1 to 10 to your plants. But again, because it's very high in nitrogen, some plants can be a bit overwhelmed by that. So you might want to work up your levels. So start off maybe as a concentration of 1 to 20, for example, and then work up to 1 to 10 for your nitrogen hungry plants. So that's that one. And then we've got this one here. This is comfrey. And I'm going to show you, because it's in flower at the moment. So this is comfrey and these are the flowers. And comfrey is a wonderful, wonderful plant. It grows really well here on Dartmoor, but it grows pretty well everywhere. And it grows from large tubers, as you can see here, large roots, I should say. And what's really great about these in particular is because they've got big roots that go really deep down, they're really good at grabbing all of those nutrients that are hidden in the subsoil. So they pull all that out. So they're what you call a super high NPK plant, which means it's really high in nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. And those are great for plants, really, really super plants, super foods for your plants, for your growing plants. And a lot of your edibles and a lot of plants in general can't get that deep down in the ground. So this is a super plant to have. I even plant it around our apple trees because in pulling up the nutrients and then when it dies back, it's depositing all that good stuff around the base of the trees and helps feed the trees. Now with these, also a good thing is if you can get hold of one of these bits of root, or here's a smaller piece of root here, stick it in the ground and it'll readily root. So they're really super easy to propagate. So that's a good thing about them. Also, another good thing about them is there any limit to how many good things there are about comfrey? These wonderful flowers, so I'm just going to get you in closer because they're so beautiful. The shape of them, the colour of them, and bees love them, pollinators love them. So they're a wonderful plant to have around anyway, just for those reasons alone. Beautiful and a great pollinator. And then we get on to making a fertiliser with them. So again, the same way with nettles. What I'm going to bring you down so you can see this. So I filled up the bucket and I've topped it up with a bit of water. And again, all I'm going to do, I'm going to put this flowering bit in here. That would be good to do. And then stick this on top there, and that will weigh that down. And again, I will leave that for about 3 weeks. And in the 3 weeks that's going to be sitting there, it's going to get rotten and rotten and rotten and rotten and rotten. And it gets quite nasty looking. And I have some, which I'll just show you here. So this is the pulp from this, and as you can see, it's pretty grim, and it attracts a lot of flies. So try and, once it gets to that point, you might want to just put some kind of covering on it. I'll put it somewhere where you don't really care about the smell or flies even. So that's what it will turn into. But you will also get this, which is the tea or the fertiliser, which you can see is like a light brown liquid. And this is the liquid that you add to the 1:10 ratio of one cup of this to 10 cups of water. And then you're good to go, really, and that's all there is to it. And then your plants will be very happy plants and well-fed plants, and that's a win-win situation. So again, I'd just like to thank you for your time, thank you for listening, and I hope you have a really great day, and thank you again. Bye bye.